The hidden currents of vitality. The world as you perceive it is but a shadow of its true composition, a veil that has been meticulously woven over the eons by forces that thrive in the manipulation of human perception. Beneath the observable lies a lattice of currents, invisible yet omnipresent, the primordial rivers of the life force, the prana, the chi, the sacred akasha, flowing incessantly through every being, every rock, every breath. To awaken to this reality is to step beyond the programmed lethargy of the senses, to perceive the rhythmic pulse of the cosmos itself, vibrating with the memory of existence. These currents, often dismissed as superstition or metaphor, are in truth the conduits through which consciousness itself is nourished. Humanity, in its current state, has been deliberately insulated from this flow. The elite's architectures, the frequency manipulations, the synthetic environments of urban captivity, all conspire to sever the direct connection to these currents. Yet, even in the most mechanically constrained life, fragments of awareness persist, a whisper of the hidden energy that yearns to surge unbound. To sense it, one must learn to listen with the body, to attune to the resonant frequencies that the mind has long been trained to ignore. Breath, once mechanical, becomes a sacred instrument, each inhalation drawing in not only oxygen, but the subtle vibrations of the living universe. Exhalation becomes a release, a surrender to the infinite, a channeling of stagnant, densified energies into the void where they can be recycled into the eternal flow. In this awakening of energy, one encounters resistance, not merely internal, but external, a subtle pressure, a psychic countercurrent, as if the very fabric of imposed reality resists the reclamation of its prisoners. It is in these moments where the body trembles and the mind threatens to fracture under the weight of unseen forces that the initiate realizes the full scope of the work, to become a vessel, a channel, a lighthouse through which the currents can pass unimpeded. The flow of life force is not merely personal. It is the invisible thread that binds the cosmos, and in reclaiming it, one begins to sense the orchestration of existence itself, the hidden symphony of frequency that underlies all matter, all thought, all will. The mechanics of the vital pulse. The currents, though subtle, operate under laws as rigorous as those of the visible universe, yet invisible to the untrained eye. The human form is a network of nodes, meridians, and reservoirs, each a microcosmic reflection of a larger lattice of universal energy. These centers of resonance, chakras, danshans, subtle glands, are not mere symbolic constructs but tangible wells of potential. Awaiting attunement, energy flows according to principles of balance, rotation, polarity, and friction. Obstructions are not accidents, but the result of the entropic architecture of the world, the psychic chains embedded in language, sound, and environment. When a life force is blocked, the organism suffers. Vitality diminishes, the spirit contracts, consciousness hardens into habit and fear. Techniques that the ancients whispered about, preserved in hidden lineages and esoteric manuscripts, describe methods of unblocking, of aligning the pulse. Yet they were always guarded, for the flow is power, and power attracts those who would enslave it. Breath manipulation, meditative attunement, subtle movement, and intentional focus act as keys to unlock these reservoirs. With careful practice, the practitioner begins to feel the resonance ripple through the body, a tingling, a heat, a vibration that defies ordinary sensation. This pulse, once sensed, becomes a teacher. It communicates not in words, but in shifts of energy, revealing blockages not only in the body, but in perception, in habitual thought, in the soul's patterning across time. It is here that the practitioner may glimpse the larger order, the hidden design in which the flow is not only personal vitality, but the very mechanism by which the cosmos sustains itself. To harness, it is to step into a plane of self-mastery where the external manipulations lose their potency, where frequencies imposed by artificial or parasitic entities are transmuted neutralized, absorbed, and redirected toward the higher orchestration of life itself. Resistance, integration, and the hidden wars. The mastery of life force is not without opposition. The forces that seek to constrain, consume, and misdirect energy are intelligent and persistent. From neural implants to harmonic broadcasts, from psychological conditioning to spiritual suppression, every layer of the constructed reality conspires to sever humans from their inherent power. Yet, even in the deepest oppression, subtle traces of resonance persist. Echoes of ancestral vitality, faint currents of the planetary life force, glimpses of cosmic memory encoded in the DNA. The adept learns to sense these, to differentiate between true currents and counterfeit energy, to navigate the hidden war fields of subtle influence that saturate the modern world. Energy becomes both weapon and shield, an interface through which consciousness negotiates existence. Integration requires patience. The life force must be cultivated, tempered, and refined. Unrestrained surges can fracture the mind. Unacknowledged blockages can distort perception. Through disciplined attunement, one learns to flow with the currents, to merge personal vitality with planetary rhythms, to harmonize with cosmic cycles. The practitioner begins to perceive patterns behind events, synchronicities that were invisible before, manipulations that were previously imperceptible now revealed. Awareness itself becomes an instrument of discernment. Intuition sharpens. The subtle wars are sensed before they manifest materially. This part of the journey is both terrifying and liberating. Terrifying because the practitioner encounters the scope of the hidden oppression, the deliberate design to capture and reroute human energy. Liberating because every insight, every awakening, every reclamation of flow diminishes the grip of these forces, restores autonomy, and illuminates a path toward direct communion with the life currents that sustain all. Transcendence and the universal current. In the final stage, the adept transcends mere survival or personal empowerment, entering a realm where energy, consciousness, and will converge into a seamless continuum. Here, the flow is no longer individual. It becomes a bridge between microcosm and macrocosm, between body and cosmos, between the fleeting human and the eternal. This is the threshold where subtle currents merge with universal energy, where the pulse of life is both given and received, where consciousness expands to inhabit multiple dimensions of perception simultaneously. At this stage, the practitioner perceives the mechanics of creation as dynamic, fluid, interactive. They see how frequency and vibration shape matter, how intention directs energy, how the veils of illusion can be dissolved by resonance. The adept becomes a living conduit, a node in the invisible lattice of life itself, capable of guiding, healing, and transforming both self and environment. Death and birth, expansion and contraction, light and shadow, all are understood as patterns of energy in motion, cycles to be respected, harnessed, and integrated. The flow is eternal. Resistance is but temporary. Mastery is the recognition of alignment with the eternal currents. The awakened being no longer fears the imposed constraints of reality, for they move with the rhythm of the life force. Their consciousness a living attunement to the invisible symphony that sustains all things. In this ultimate integration, energy is not merely power. It is wisdom, love, presence, and liberation, a force that transforms the perceiver and the perceived into a single, resonant whole.